What is up, YouTube? You're watching Tabletop Dad, and this is another episode of 10-Minute Terrain. Now, if you're enjoying this channel's content, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe down below. Click the bell icon so you can get notifications of our future videos. We do a lot of videos pertaining to tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you like these type of videos. Leave a comment down below recommending some future content you'd like to see on this channel, and follow along as we convert these items into an awesome tabletop statue. First thing we need to do is cut this guy out of his package using our handy dandy utility knife. Always take caution and cut away from yourself, and always be aware of your surroundings as you're using a knife. Alright, we got him out. Now he's gonna fit pretty good on that squeeze bottle ketchup lid. Now I do want to remove him from his base so he looks like a seamless entity as part of this fixture. So we're going to go ahead and cut him off his base using our utility knife and snapping the blade. Now let's remove him from his base, taking care not to break our blade. Pretty simple. This just isn't working out. I think we're gonna bust out the big guns for this. That went a lot easier. Alright. Perfect. Save that maybe for another project. Alright. Now, before we go any further, we're going to take our XPS foam and we are going to push this down into it so we get an idea of the size. Just like that. Perfect. Because what we're going to do is we're going to use this XPS foam to make bricks to line the outside of it to look like it is handcrafted. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and use our heavy duty crafting tool to rough up the top here. We're going to go ahead and glue this shut so it's secure with our hot glue gun, with a dab there and maybe a little bit around the ridge here. Should be sufficient. Just like that. And if a little extra spills on the outside, no big deal, because like I said, we are going to cover it with handcrafted bricks anyhow. Alright, now let's move on to our bricks. Cut our XPS foam out here. Got a nice shape going there. Just going to follow that around like that. Doesn't have to be precise. This is a fantasy game. So whatever works in your world is what matters. Could be townsfolk building this statue for an idol of theirs. Whatever works around your story. Perfect. Set that off to the side for the later project. Go ahead and clean this up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and make them kind of all the same distance. Eyeball it here. Looking good like that. This one right here, I think that's all we got left. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and cut out that center circle. Following our imprint that we made. Now for control and safety, it helps to have a very sharp knife when you're doing cutting like this. But as you can see, at times a hobby knife just isn't quite durable enough for the task. Alright, how are we looking here? Pretty gosh darn amazing, I must say. Alright, now you can get as carried away with this as you want, or as rustic as you like. I'm going to go ahead and make this rustic for a wilderness idol in the middle of nowhere. Maybe as our adventurers come across a shrine. Clean out this just a little bit more, alright? So I think we're pretty much good there. I'm going to start drawing in some bricks after we go ahead and glue this into place. And I'm going to go ahead and apply the glue to the outside of this and slide it on in. Be careful not to burn yourself, especially if you're using high temp glue. Press it firmly into position. Good to go. Now with our ketchup lid already pre-roughened up with our blade, let's go ahead and secure our figure to the top. I'm going to make these large enough so it looks like it's fused in there by melted metal. Clean off any of the extra little wisps. And once it dries, you can remove any excess. And it looks like it's just part of the foundation. A little bit molten metal that may have cooled right there. Alright, now we can go ahead and start drawing in our bricks. I'm wanting a fairly large foundation for this, so I'm thinking let's go ahead. I'm going to use the back side of the knife. Slice into this just slightly. Double foundation. Doesn't have to be exactly perfectly parallel or straight. Just want it to look like it's two layers. Alright. Just like that. Cut it in about a couple millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. And then we can take a barbecue skewer or a sharpened pencil. Actually going to accentuate that. I like that. It's kind of a crack. And widen out our gap here. Makes it look more rounded, like it's been there a while. In combination with our weathered stones here. Just like that. Alright, now we can go through, start at the front, and we can make on the bottom side patterns. I'm thinking nice to have cornerstone and then capstones on the top. So I'm going to cut all of our corners on the bottom. Just like that. Lay them out. If any pieces break off, that's fine for this sculpture, because I am looking for more of a rustic look. You can use the back side if you want, which is unsharpened, but just has that nice wider edge to kind of get in there and widen out our outlines. Right. We can go back in here, make separate stones. I'm thinking like 3 per level probably. It's a decent size. But then again, we don't want everything the same, so unless you're going for complete symmetry, which I am not. I'm a big fan in the fantasy realm of eclecticness, especially when it comes down to these ones that are worn. We'll even kind of go in some angles here. Add some flavor to it, just like that. Alright, while we're at it, before we start widening out those gaps, let's go ahead and cover our capstones here on the corners. Cut those in, and then we'll follow those lines on down the side, just like that. Alright, so now that we've got that done, let's go ahead and widen out the rest of our lines here. You can put some pits in there if you'd like. Adds a little extra wear to the stones. Put some cracks in there, a little bit of weathering. Funny thing water does to stone. You can get as carried away with this as you want to. Don't do it at all. Entirely up to you and your preference. Widen those out. Break some off if you'd like. Make sure there's not a whole lot of loose pieces floating around. That's pretty cool. It actually looks like it had been patched at one time in that area. Yeah, amazing how this XPS foam just flows as you mold it. Nice chunk broke out there. Like those loose pieces left in there. I think I'm gonna leave those. Alright. I think that's about it. I think we pretty much got them all. Our top edge is still pretty straight, and their stones don't have a whole lot of texture. So we're going to go back over these with a tightly wrapped ball of aluminum foil. Texturize our stones and round our edges off. This will give us a nice stony appearance. Make sure you do it on the sides as well. Perfect, just like that. Now we're ready to move on to some paint. Now before we paint, if you don't like the smoothness of the ketchup lid and you want more of a textured look, you can take your hot glue gun, go over top of it. Also, you can fill in any of these little gaps if you'd like. Alright, this is just some leftover black chalk paint that my wife had from a project that she did. I'm just going to do a base coat with this. I normally like to do a base coat with Mod Podge mixed with black acrylic paint, but since I had this little bit left in here, I'm going to try this out and see how it works. Since this is a latex paint, it will take quite a bit longer to dry, but I'm wondering for the price if the results will be better or worse for the project that I'm doing here. Since this is a statue, I'm obviously not painting high-dollar miniatures here. I don't need to use army painter paints or anything like that. Just kind of stippling it on here. You can already see how that hot glue on that base gave us quite a bit of texture. Alright, go ahead and do the outside, getting in all of our cracks. This actually has more of a brownish, dark gray coloration to it than black. Even though its color is supposed to be black, this might actually work out really well. Make sure to get into all our crevices. Get this sealed up nicely. I will come back and paint the bottom last after we get the entire project completed. I like to have my bottoms painted too, just in case the terrain would fall over. You never know, we might have a warrior in the group that thinks it's a great idea to pull a statue over or something. Alright. We got good coverage there, good texture, pitted bronze is what we're going for. All our crevices have paint in them, it looks like. See, we let her dry and then we come back. Alright, we've got our base coat on there. Now it's time to apply our finish colors. As you can see, I got a wide variety here of some inexpensive hobby craft paint, all acrylic, and then we'll go ahead and apply a wash to it after we're done. Alright, I'm going to start off with some dark tan. Shake it up a bit. That should be more than enough. Not, in fact, way too much. And then I'm going to apply Sun-Kissed Peach to that. We're going to try to get a good bronze color on our figure here first. More of that peach. More like a sandstone. It wouldn't be too bad. Say it was a carved statue. I think I want to add just a little bit of deep forest moss to it to give it that patina. See how that looks. Back just a little more. Yeah, like that. Start off there. We're just going to coat our statue. A good amount of paint, but not completely saturated. I'm using a number 2 brush here to apply this to the statuette. You want good coverage. I actually like this sandstone color enough. I think I'm going to do a dry brushing over the top of the good old worn out stiff number 4. We're going to saturate our brush. We're going to remove most of the paint on a paper towel so it's not shining anymore. This is going to be a heavy dry brush since this is our first color on the stones. Like that. We're going to go across the grain of our stones. All right. Add a little gray. Now I'm going to continue working on our stonework. The same thing. Even lighter dose this time. Flat tan. And add that to our already lightened mixture. We'll do it again. Okay. I'm going to take some really watered down green here. This is actually putting it in beer because I like the effect of the alcohol on paint. Saturate it. Now it's just as easy as that. We're going to let this dry, and then we're going to give it a coat with our standard wash. Alright, now our last step is we're going to apply our standard wash to it. I will put a link down below to Jeremy at Black Magic Crafts recipe for wash. He has probably the best one that I've ever used, and is the one I use. And you could tint it to whatever color suits your purpose. I'm just going to apply our wash, make sure it doesn't pool, and let her dry. You can collect this wash, put it back in your bottle, and we'll see how it looks when it's all dried up and ready to go. Alright, our wash is completely dried, and I gave it a quick coat of some clear, quick dry polyurethane spray, and there is our finished product. Look at the detail on the brickwork. Nice bronzing with the little green patina. Not too bad for a $1 dollar store toy to tabletop treasure. Now we can use that as part of our story. The idol that's being worshipped in the ruined village. However you'd like to insert it, use your imagination, use your own painting skills to elaborate on it a bit. Feel free to leave a comment down below how you would have done this project. If you've already done a project like this, what kind of terrain project you'd like to see next. I'll put a link down below to our last 10-minute terrain where we built a nice peasant wall out of some organic materials found right in our backyard. Thanks for watching, Tabletop Dad. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. Click the bell icon so you can receive notifications of our future videos. Have fun playing your tabletop games, and God bless.